guys because they're just oohing and awing over Wonder Woman, and we're not going to have a really productive discussion.
A lot has to do with you, though.
It's not over Wonder Woman.
And the dimples.
Well, I think for the last part of the discussion, we should talk about the sexuality of Wonder Woman's character.
What?
I'm talking about it, but I think that for the TV show, I know we talked about that in the last segment, they tried to suppress her sexuality to make it palatable for a TV audience, right? But just your reactions.
What are you saying right now?
When you mention the words Wonder Woman, you start salivating, right? So
wait.
I think we should talk about that.
But you say that it was suppressed, but she was bare-legged, bare-shouldered. So how is that suppressing her sexuality?
The Diana character and the way that they presented her was.
But
I mean, the idea of an invisible jet, like
the idea of disguise, right? That she has to put on the button-up blouse and that she has to find a secret room to turn around. I know other superheroes have disguises.
Superman had a telephone booth.
She's actually like a female impersonator. That's what I want to say.
Oddly enough, yeah, Wonder Woman's not a guy, so it's
she's
completely
masquerading
as
her. A woman who's less strong than she really is.
But doesn't Superman
less
as well?
Less sexy than she really is.
But Clark Kent's the biggest nerd in the world.
Okay, but I think it's different. People don't.
So what are you really trying to say?
People don't get that reaction about Superman, do they? The three of you are like out of control.
Wonder Woman before any. Sorry.
Any ladies who think Superman is sexy?
Yeah.
Right there. That's one.
And that was a guy. Okay, ladies. How about ladies this time? No?
Okay.
The other thing is the bondage.
The creator of Wonder Woman.
Yes, I know.
You know the whole story.
Yeah.
The polygraph guy.
Prison reform.
Yes, and had his little live-in slave tied up.
Not so much on the TV show, but in the comic book, she's always like. There's lots of panels of her straining against the binds, right? You know, we said in the TV show she never had any trouble putting the lasso on people. But
yes.
The message is that through bondage we will get to the truth.
And is there something wrong with that?
But let's.
I know, I'm serious. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Wrong, whatever.
To make it really quick, and then the interesting thing about that is now it's become, and it's coming up in comic books, and I know you don't read comics as much as, say, I don't know, Dan does, but it's gotten to the point where they're now rewriting this character and doing some really wonderful things with her. And in that example that she's become of this woman who's always into bondage, or not into bondage, but being bound and fighting against it.
This is like a family show.
There's been storylines now where she's taller than Superman because she's an Amazon, and Superman has to float just to be the same height as her to talk to her eye to eye. And things are now going on where people who've grown up with Wonder Woman, who are now becoming writers and creative people, are now trying to take that character back. And it's slow going. And very much for Wonder Woman, she's still a C grade to B grade character, but she is coming into her own finally.
But it's like an ebb and flow. It seems like her power at some point needs to be restrained. You know, if you look at the rise of the women's movement in the 70s, when women had sort of found their most sort of socio-political power, she actually lost her powers during those
Absolutely,
times.
and then when she wore the white outfit.
And actually, in the 70s, they drew her in a
and
jumpsuit.
Now she's just like hypersexualized, which is another way of removing her power.
Well, they're trying. It's in the modern. They are trying. They're trying to get female writers onto the book and doing stuff like that. In the sense that you got to remember too, comic books has kind of been an all boys club for a long time.
But don't you think that she is super strong, but she's still feminine? And I think that's a good thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And there was the controversial haircut.
That's what I like about this, is that they didn't. There seems to be this idea that
she still won at the end of the day.
Well, this is what I mean.
She's got to look like a babe somehow for us to.
Okay, yeah, but listen, honestly, who would have watched the show if it was like B. Arthur as Wonder Woman?
So
like, you know what I mean? Like one of the Golden Girls. Like,
Dan, I got a thing. So I would
I'm just saying.
Okay, besides you.
This is the thing. I just think that I don't like the idea of it's really okay. Sometimes with the Eurocentric, male-centric point of view, a lot of people think that in order for someone to be normal, they have to be like me, which means if a Native American can speak English, that means they're smart. If a woman can do what I can do as a man, that makes them okay. What I like about this is that she's still a woman, she's still feminine, but she is powerful. And so I think that makes her, to me, a good role model for women, because she doesn't have to become masculine to be accepted or to be
the fact
powerful.
that the bulk of our conversation has been about her looks, I think is.
I didn't even notice her looks.
Look at her.
I'm talking about.
I'm not-
I didn't
I'm
say.
not-
It's Linda Carter.
I didn't say she's good looking. I said she's feminine.
Mike, I'm gonna.
I didn't even notice her looks.
If
She
you're
has to be feminine. That's my point.
if
But-
you're
but isn't
gonna
that
if you're
okay,
gonna
though?
if you're gonna argue, and I don't mean to if you're gonna argue that this show and this character and this idea is in any way, shape, or form some sort of triumph for women, dude.
Do you not think so, Julie?
Dude.
At some point, she was on the cover of Ms. Magazine at some point.
No.
Champion for women.
But okay, never mind the fact that she's pretty. I'm saying she's
Actually,
feminine.
she's beyond pretty.
She's attractive, but she's
beyond
feminine.
pretty.
I don't think there's
Are
anything
there
wrong with
any
that.
female superheroes that are not babes?
Storm was the only one that ever got sort of Grace Jones sort of territory. I think Grace Jones isn't gorgeous.
No, it's
but it's Halle Berry.
But
and
aren't also
very-
all male heroes also handsome and chiseled? Superman, Batman, they're all handsome and chiseled.
And every day I try to live up to that. You
Yeah.
can tell.
I just think
my
that- I think it goes
lactoid-
both
Wait,
ways.
time out. Listen, time out. I want Julie to talk here because I'm completely confused. Are you saying that that's a bad thing?
No,
Or are you saying that's a good thing?
I'm comparing her to like Sean Connery and James Bond. Like at least he has some sexual identity. We see him romantically engaged with people. She never gets Steve Trevor, does she?
No.
That's a problem.
I don't
agree.
know. I haven't seen the whole volume. I haven't seen the entire.
She's sexualized, but she doesn't have a lot of sexual license. She gets tied up. All kinds of people oogle her and are enamored with her. She doesn't have a very rich.
You know
life.
what? In all honesty, though, if this show was recent, like if they remade the Wonder Woman show, I think it would be completely different.
And I think they are. Right? There's going to be a new film.
Well, the
Yes,
film,
there
yes,
is.
but I'm saying like a television show, like when they redid Bionic Woman, like by leaps and bounds, and like literally,
She
like
was a fully rich character.
yes,
Yeah.
no. You know what I mean? Like the whole, but Wonder Woman came out in like mid '70s, and you're talking only like 20 years after the first baby was ever on TV. Like it wasn't
There's
that
limits
late
to
of
what
a.
you can do on TV, but we're talking about the larger.
Dan, I know you're
Genre.
trying to solve
The
like
world's
a
crisis.
lot of world crisis right now.
Yes.
You got the Middle East yesterday. You solved all that.
Yes. Well, that's done.
So
that's done. We're working
men and women, we're gonna have to put off
Yes. Well,
because we gotta.
I think this is good.
We gotta wrap this up.
I said by Friday.
Except for what I agree. One thing, she never hooks up with Steve Trevor. And I think that's because the writer cannot accept the female strong character going down to a mortal character.
I think that's what she's been talking about.
That's what I gotta say.
Fine.
That's what she said
I've
half
been talking
hour
about
I
ago.
agree with that.
I'd like to thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You've been a great guest. Thank you for reintroducing us to Wonder Woman because I'm taking those DVDs home with me tonight.
All right.
And tune in next time. Until then, I'm Danny Palanca. Don't forget to get your pets spayed and neutered.
All right.